Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. I'm gonna do something strange. I knew I was going to do first impressions. I told everyone this of this manga that Hockey showed me. But that's gonna wait. However, I will give you guys another first impressions. I'm gonna start doing these. I seriously am. Any manga that I find that is very interesting and very compelling, that I really enjoy, that just surprised me, I'll do first impressions of. But depending on how long it is, I'm not going to do what the Nostradamus does. He says that if it's less than 100 chapters, he'll read a certain far. If there's a manga, no matter how I like it, no matter how long it is, I'll read the whole thing. And then I'll do first impressions. And that's what I did with this. A manhwa, believe it or not. Not a manga, a manhwa. Korean manga. This one surprised me. And at first I was skeptical. I was like, called Beast 9. Now, the best way to explain what this manhwa was about, is to combine two different, well, not mangas, but animes together. Imagine if you took Evangelion, and when I mean Evangelion, take the concept of Evangelion, you know, the Eva units, the angels. You take that concept and merge it with another anime called Gravion, where you got this guy comes forward to help humanity by creating this robot called Gravion. Yeah, think of those two, merge those two ideas together, and as an added bonus, it's a manhwa, and unfortunately, gender bender. Ooh, and I saw that, I was like, no. But hey, I stuck with it. It was only like 21 chapters, so I figured, let me check this out. But Beast 9, it's pretty interesting. It's basically, there are these aliens called erasers, and usually these aliens called erasers, and that's what the story is about these erasers that show up humanity to destroy them and go put them to extinct, to annihilate them. And the erasers are like these rectangle forms. They're like these rectangle things, and they usually have two different kinds. They'll have a first generation eraser and a second generation eraser. And it's similar to Eva, because Eva, they have the angels, and here you have the erasers. And basically, this guy comes forward, Mr. Vincent. Oh, by the way, Mr. Vincent, total perv. Like, he belongs with Jiraiya and Master Roshi and Kon. Like, he's up there, man. He's pretty perverted. He basically creates what is known as the Beast, which is kind of funny because there was this, the whole Beast term, that's kind of used in Evangelion. Well, at least in the movie 2.0, which I found very interesting that they used. And basically, Beast 9 is the robot, the Beast robot that they use towards later on in the manhwa. But let me get you a brief synopsis of it. Eraser, the mysterious enemy that invaded Earth 13 years ago, before their overwhelming power, the entire Earth neared the verge of collapse. But at the last moment, there suddenly appeared Earth's lone survivor, the Beast. An ultimate weapon, unequally equipped to counter the Eraser's power. The Beast is part of the Magic Brigade, those whose commander-in-chief is also the founder of our Le Prince Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Mr. Vincent. That's the guy's name, Mr. Vincent. Now, the main character of this show, which is hard to say, I'll find his name. Gotta find his name. Is Cho El Gun. It's hard to say it. It's like Che. Che O Sun or Gun. It's very hard to say his name. But basically, what happens, reason it's gender bender, is, I'm just going to call this guy Cho, or Che. So, or Gun. I'll call him Gun. I don't give a shit. Main character's name is Gun, and he's this kid who was saved by a beast robot and its pilot, like, years ago when he was a child. And he goes to Lei Prince Academy to become a pilot for the beast robot. And he bumps into two other people. There are two other characters that mention briefly here. One is Mari. Jang Mari. Jang Marie. And what ends on happening with Jang Marie and Gun, Che, Gun, is an eraser attacks almost near the academy, and he wants to get a close-up view, Gun, of the whole situation that's going down, and Marie is there trying to bring him back, and they accidentally get put into the beast robot. And Marie gets attacked and is unconscious. And what ends on happening is, somehow, I don't know how this happens, but somehow, his soul, Gun's soul, Che Il Gun's soul, son's soul, gets sent into Marie's body. When I saw that shit, I was like, no. But that's basically what happens. And then we go from that to him waking up later in. And basically it follows those events. Marie's soul is trapped inside of the beast robot that they were in, which was beast number 2 or 1. I think it was 2. Later on, we get introduced to other beast robots. Beast number 6, of course, beast number 9, which you find out later in. And there's also one other character to mention. Well, there's a few to mention, but I'll just mention this one last one. Her name is Hana. Yu Hana. And she is the childhood friend of Chao Li Gun son, whatever you want to call him. And basically, she's like, a friend. She's knows him and stuff. And we get the idea she's a soudierer, in the show. But she's an interesting character who goes along with it, because she in her eyes, Marie is her rival. But the thing is, Cho is inside of Marie's body, so it's like kind of weird. Also, we get introduced later on, this instructor who's at first glance I was like, oh, this girl's a bitch. She was being very bitchy, but at the same time she's helping to train Marie, who's Cho. Weird Korean names. It's so hard to pronounce, and the process. So I give it for that. But it's an interesting show, and it's an interesting concept, and I, even though it's gender bender, I kept reading and reading. It like I said, it's very familiar, and it's kind of a surprise. This is why I think I was reading it. I don't think, I could be wrong, people, but I don't think there are many manhwas out there based on mecha. I don't see that many. I could be wrong, but because majority of them, you look at the manhwas that have come out. I mean, you got Witch Hunter, you've got maybe Freezing. I guess you can consider that a manhwa. High School, God of High School. You've got what was the other one? Oh yeah, Breaker. You got Girls of the Wild. Yet with those, and I believe also there's also Function G and Sunken Rock. But see, those are not mecha. And here's another thing I've noticed with these manhwas. Majority of them, martial arts, fighting. It's not in that mech. So this surprised me. I was intrigued. Even though it was gender bender, I was intrigued. If it wasn't for the gender bender, I would probably... Now, as far as rating is concerned for this show, for this manhwa, I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10. It would get a... The gender bender pushed me off. You know, it pushed off. Come on. That's just... it's just so ridiculous. But this was a good read, and I subscribe to it on Manga here, and I think you guys should check this out. This is pretty interesting stuff, especially when you consider that the manhwas that I just named off, you know, most of them, they don't have mech. This is all, they're all, majority of them are about fighting, martial arts and shit, all that stuff. This one is mecha. I was surprised. I'm like, I'm looking at their names, and I just realized, oh shit, now that explains it. And it was a big surprise for me. A big surprise. Now, I know I said that I was going to start a couple new things for the channel because of my 1,000th video that I uploaded. One of the things was the first impressions of things that I just randomly select. That's going to start after I do a first impressions of the other manga that I'm reading currently that Hockey suggested to me. After I do first impressions of that, I'm going to just steadily just surprise myself and find something that, you know, it has to impress me, though, in order for first impression, so, yeah. But this was a good read. It was 21 chapters. The pages were kind of long. At first, I was like, oh, shit, it was colored pages, and that's another thing. Majority or some or most of the chapters, the first couple of pages are in color. It's a shame that not all the pages are in color. But still, this is a good read. Go check it out. If you can get past the gender bender. And it's not total gender bender. It's only one character. You know, and it's, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But what I noticed about it is that Hana, she kind of knows, because she's picking up on these things, and it's kind of stupid that she doesn't realize, you know, she's a little bit different than what she was before. Maybe you should consider, you know, but it's kind of weird because there are a lot of instances in this manga where it's picked up that Hana kind of knows that something is up, but she's not saying. So yeah, go check it out, people. Beast 9, it's beastly. Yeah, no joking around. It's really good. It's pretty violent, pretty good. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Oh, another character I forgot to mention was Catherine, this little girl who knows a lot about the beasts and about the erasers, but she, at the moment, we don't know much about her. All we know is that she's close to Mr. Vincent, and that there's some kind of history there. But we don't know much about it. We don't know. We're really totally in the dark about that. So, you know, that's that. But anyway, that's the story, people. First impressions, go check it out. Beast 9. Definitely worth it if you can get past the gender bender. I stuck with it. It was weird, but I was like, all right, you know. I mean, the main character, he is kind of a, but, you know, I stuck with it. It was pretty good read. And I subscribe to it on Manga here, so I'm going to keep reading it as it comes along, the chapters. And for that, I think, let me just check something before I end this video. I want just to see, I think this is close to bi-weekly. Like, comes out every 2 months. Because I think, like, not this chapter, but the chapter before it came out in March, and the chapter before that came out in January 1st, 2013. So they had somewhat kind of a bi-monthly kind of thing. I don't know when the next chapter is going to come out, though, so, yeah. I'm Bonkai922. I'll see you guys later. Gender Bender. Still a good read. Go check it out. It's still a good read. Get past the gender bender, and it will be a boss. Beastly as